Alright everyone, I have some good news and some bad news. The good news is that I was able to get the blue players to pay my rent for me this month after the generous gift incident. But the bad news is they made me sign a contract to do the other color identities, starting with them, or they'd sell me to Jin Gitaxis, who keeps sending me love letters about how I complete him, whatever that means. Thank God there's only 5 colors in Magic, right? Oh, why does that say foreshadowing? Welcome to Color Theory, the only show funded purely by faith, trust, and pure, unadulterated spite. Today we're taking a look at blue players, you sick bastards, you sick, lovable bastards. Blue players have a vital trait that they share almost exclusively with colorblind Uno players. They draw more cards than anybody else and probably won't even play half of them. This, along with giving the entire table brain spasms, makes up the core aspects of blue players. Unfortunately, unlike the colorblind Uno player's primary issue, I just need one more card is not a recognized medical condition, and the closest thing to accommodations we'll be giving you are a contusion and 8 weeks in physical therapy. Side effects of playing blue include saying, actually, more times than Brendan Lee Mulligan in an echo chamber, sweating bullets every time the green player moves to combat, and convincing yourself that your color isn't unfair, you have to use generic ramp cards and your creatures don't swing that good. Never mind that you can pick up more cardboard than a middle-aged underpaid Amazon factory worker who hasn't been given a pee break in 6 weeks due to corporate time constraints. If drawing cards doesn't sound special enough for you, don't worry, you wretched periwinkle hooligans, for you have one unique tool stuffed into every available orifice of your Goodwill bargain bin trench coat, and nobody else gets to play with it.
Counterspells!
Counterspells are what happen when you cross a time machine with an improvised explosive device. All you have to do is wait for someone to cast a spell you don't like, press the big red button that says in bold white letters, Terminator Time, and watch as your opponent's card turns to dust, like a tiny paper version of Tom Holland not feeling so good. The best part of counterspells is that Magic players are so scared of not casting their cards, half the time you don't even need a counterspell. Just leave a single island untapped, and every time someone threatens you, give them a stern look, and ask them if they're sure they want to do that, like some unholy fusion between Matthew Mercer and Yoshikage Kira, who just discovered Only Hands. As far as weaknesses go, it can be difficult to pinpoint any. Some might complain about Blue's lack of mana ramp, and listen, bud, I would agree with you, but between generic options like Mana Crypt and Jeweled Lotus, Commander decks rarely hurt for early game ramp.
Whisper, whisper, whisper.
They banned what? Sure, you might be able to play a few 3 or 4 cost mana rocks, maybe some generic 2-fers, but by the time you can play those, the green player's already halfway into Costco with a gold membership and an unused credit card. I personally think it's for the best that blue players don't get access to fast ramp options. Good goodness, imagine if there was a way to have the draw power and flexibility of blue with incredible ramp potential and powerful value engines. That would be insane!
Whisper, whisper, whisper.
What's a Simic? Aside from lackluster in-color mana ramp options, the main sticking point for this color is that in order to effectively hold the entire table hostage, kinda like these blue players in Jin Gitaxis, you need to keep mana open. Every turn in a blue player's life is determined by a single decision point. Do I actually do what I want to do, or do I make the rest of the table more anxious than Drake entering a roasting contest with Kendrick Lamar, who recently learned to spell Vicious Mockery? If you're willing to lose friends, or have none to begin with, then how about some fine, personalized suggestions for mono blue commanders? Octavia Living Thesis is my personal favorite way to play mono blue. The idea that your goal for the first half of the game is prepare for Octopus, and the game plan for the second half is make Octopus is hilarious, almost like some eldritch ancestors of the Sharknado. Bonus points if you actually play the Sharknado card. I cannot believe Wizards got away with printing this. Play cheap creatures early and watch as they transform into gigantic tentacle monsters as soon as you hit the Danger Doodle threshold. Urza, Lord High Artificer, feels like an obligatory include here, due in large part to how he completely breaks the whole blue bad ramp thing I was talking about earlier, but also because nearly every single thing that's ever gone wrong in Magic the Gathering can either be traced back to this guy or to Nick Ball's notorious tomfoolery enthusiast. Fill your deck with enough kooky, nonsensical artifacts to make Robbie Rotten jealous, and then reap the rewards when you cast some Saturday morning cartoon nonsense for half off, just because everyone's so thoroughly impressed by your collection of antique jewelry. If you want to go with the evil autism option, Baral, Chief of Compliance, is literally right there. He hyperfixated so hard on counterspells that now you get a discount on each and every one of them. Not only that, but every time you explain to someone how cool model trains are, you get to cycle through your deck searching for the right caboose to finally prove to everyone else at the table that your niche hobby is actually super normal and not at all gonna stop them from playing their commander for the 4th turn in a row. Let me know what color you're most excited for down below, and check out the last video if you haven't already. Now, my blue brethren, go forth and be annoying in the way only you can be. Commit war crimes, evade war fines, and return your opponent's commander to their hand 80 times. But most importantly, I am coming for your soul ring. Now, what's this about a Simic?
Whisper, whisper, whisper.
No, I get that, but green is a different color.
Whisper, whisper.
2 color combination? I have to make 10 more of these things?